Hi everybody, and greetings from inside my bubble. My name is Pete and I've lived in Ohio for most of my life. I grew up in the suburbs of Cleveland. I went to college in the foothills of Appalachia down in southeast Ohio. And about 20 years ago, I moved to the suburbs of Columbus to raise my family. I'm just a middle-aged, white-collar, white guy living in the middle-class suburbs of Columbus, where I mow my lawn, and sometimes I buy vinyl records, and I talk to my friends who are also middle-aged white guys about mowing our lawns and buying vinyl records. I'm 100,000% as boring as I sound. Here's the thing I want to tell you about Ohio. Every 4 years, we get walloped by a presidential election. It's likely because the state still has a very good number of electoral votes and a relatively even balance of Democrats and Republicans. So both parties tend to invest a lot of time and energy and effort into winning the state. So every 4 years, the candidates keep stopping by, national media floods in, there's political analysts around every corner. And even though I've lived in Ohio for more than 40 years, I have to tell you, I just don't recognize the state they describe when they talk about yellow dog Democrats from Cleveland, or deep red state conservatives from Cincinnati, or the rural voters, the social issue voters, the evangelicals, the minority blocs. I always think to myself, who are these people? Why don't I know any of them? Why don't our paths ever cross? And that's an easy question to answer. It's because of this bubble I live in, this comfortable middle-class suburb, where, don't get me wrong, I've built a very happy life, but certainly not one that has helped me understand my fellow Buckeye voters. And so as we head into another presidential election, I want to change that. I want to get out of my bubble and meet fellow Buckeyes from all walks of life. And I want to learn their stories. Where did they grow up and what was it like? What do they do now and do they like it? What makes them happy and angry and sad? What are the things they worry about at night when it's quiet? And once I learn those stories, I want to understand how those feed into how they're thinking politically at this moment in time. I don't have an agenda. I'm not trying to change anyone's minds one way or another. What I really want to do with this podcast and documentary is just create a better sense of understanding among the electorate in Ohio, to generate the thing that I think is missing from our politics. And that's empathy. The ability to see something from someone else's point of view. And empathy is not my strong suit, but if I don't agree with someone about something politically, and I know why they feel that way, I can understand how they came to that conclusion, well, we're in a way better place to have a productive conversation. We're not two enemies dug into trenches. Empathy is where common ground begins. And to the extent that people will listen to this podcast or watch the documentary, I think that will make us in Ohio better voters, whichever way we choose to vote. So, I've got my 2 microphones and I got a camera crew to come along, and for the rest of 2019 on up through the general election in 2020, I'm going to be crisscrossing the Buckeye State on my free weekends, nights, whenever I'm not working my day job, interviewing my fellow Buckeyes, putting together podcasts and putting together a film, and I'm hoping that you'll come along for the ride with me. This is Ohio 2020 is a podcast and documentary film project that aims to create a personal and political portrait of the Buckeye electorate as we head into yet another presidential election cycle. Also, if you're not a middle-class white guy who mows his lawn and buys vinyl records, why not apply to be on the show? Head to thisisohio2020.com. There's a short application process. I'd love to come out and learn your stories too. All right, everybody, it's time to leave the bubble. Until next time, I'm Pete Brown saying, good times, everybody. Good times.